way. It's like you've entered a horror movie and something else is controlling this part of your body. At first, the alien hand just did strange things.
Like closing a drawer you've opened, trying to fill your mouth with food, incessantly touching your face when you really don't want to, or hiding something you're looking for.
So what happens if I'm in public and I just start whacking my shit? Can I like get away from getting sentenced? Cause I have an alien hand. I got an alien arm. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just absolutely going crazy. Whack, whack, whack. I'm in public. They like, pull your pants up, pull your pants up. He's going crazy. He's going AWOL. I'm freed from anything legal because I have a disease. You guys are talking about my disease right now, and I don't want to be doing this right now. Can I just say I have an alien hand? Because I think that's the move moving forward. The darkest Wikipedia pages. Video by Visual Venture. Now look, my teachers used to tell me and all of us, like, yo, we're not gonna use Wikipedia. Don't use it. I still used it, and I still got my bachelor's too. Give it up. Now, wow, I did it the devious of ways too. I was changing, I would get my ideas, but you know what? That's for a different time. While I was doing all of that nefarious work, I never came across the darkest or anything dark on Wikipedia. But we gonna find out today what it's about. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. I love you to death. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into it.
She been comment me.
You've probably used Wikipedia 100 times, but you've never stumbled across these pages. One documents a pilot's final words before he vanished forever. Another page is about thieves who poison their friends and family on accident, and much more. Today, we're covering the creepiest Wikipedia pages on the internet. We'll start with the strange and work our way to the creepiest. The goal, guys, is 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026, so it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I will do my very best to put out the best videos I possibly can for you. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. Alien hand syndrome. Some medical conditions are scary because of what they do to you. This one is scary because of what you do to yourself. The illness is called alien hand syndrome. It has a Wikipedia page that explains this phenomenon in full detail, and what it describes almost feels impossible. Alien hand syndrome is a condition where a person experiences their limbs acting seemingly on their own.
Like when you jitter, like when you jitter and shit, or what? Like actually, like, you know, my hand, it couldn't be if your hand is actually just doing this and you like, I thought my hand was on my knee still. It can't be like that.
Simple terms, your hand can do things like it has a mind of its own. The first case appeared in the early 1900s. The patient was an elderly woman in Germany. One day she realized she could no longer control her left hand. It moved when she didn't want it to move. It grabbed things when she was not trying to grab them.
Yup, sorry, but amputated. Now I know why them niggas back then were crazy, because if this happens even today, if I'm a doctor, yeah, we gonna cut that off. We gonna cut it off right about shoulder length, just to make sure that the nub right here, y'all seen a girl, how's I holding the phone? Like this. Just to make sure. This don't got a mind of its own either. Yup, we cutting it right here for safety.
Sometimes her hand would wipe her face or rub her eyes for no reason. Here's what made it even stranger. When she actually tried to move the hand on purpose, it resisted. It took significant effort just to control it. But when she verbally commanded the hand to move, it obeyed, like it was a separate being attached to her body. At the time, doctors had no clear explanation. They labeled it as an unidentified disease and moved on. But similar cases kept coming. In the 1940s, a man lost control of his left hand, but his experience was different. His left hand kept interfering with whatever his right hand was doing. When he tried to turn over to the next page of a book, his left hand would try to close the book. As more cases surfaced, doctors gave the condition a name: alien hand syndrome. They also started calling the affected hand the alien hand. It most commonly affected the left hand. Doctors also identified what seemed to trigger it. This condition occurs usually after a stroke or surgical operations involving the brain.
So half your brain goes, then it leaves lingering damage where your brain is kind of thinking separately, or the functional movement, the cognitive functional movement part of your brain is kind of separated or skewed, or there's nerve damage or something like that, tissue or whatever, to where you're just unconsciously, it's not necessarily like a real, like there's an alien in your hand, or like but like you may just be subconsciously thinking about doing this, and something, you know what I'm saying, it might just be bringing it out to the front.
But it most commonly happens because of neurodegenerative diseases. But they still couldn't explain exactly what caused it or why. One medical expert described the experience this way: it's like you've entered a horror movie and something else is controlling this part of your body. At first, the alien hand just did strange things.
Like closing a drawer you've opened, trying to fill your mouth with food, incessantly touching your face when you really don't want to, or hiding something you're looking for.
So what happens if I'm in public and I just start whacking my shit? Can I like get away from getting sentenced? Cause I have an alien hand. I got an alien arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just absolutely going crazy. Whack, whack, whack. I'm in public. They like, pull your pants up, pull your pants up. He's going crazy. He's going AWOL. I'm freed from anything legal because I have a disease. You guys are talking about my disease right now, and I don't want to be doing this right now. Can I just say I have an alien hand? Because I think that's the move moving forward.
Over time, the hand started doing dangerous things that could hurt someone. One of the most alarming cases involved a woman named Karen Byrne. She made headlines after she was attacked by her own hand. One time, Karen's alien hand almost undressed her in public.
Karen's left hand was slowly moving up her shirt, delicately unhooking each button one by one.
She used her right hand to button it back up. Then her left hand defiantly unbuttoned it again. Other times, Karen's alien hand would get violent.
But it would also get really upset with her. Like sometimes, when Karen did something it didn't like,
smacked me right across my face.
Karen's own hand slapped her many times. She began to fear for her safety, and she wasn't the only one. Another woman said her alien hand tried to choke her while she slept. She woke up just in time. From that point on, she had to physically restrain the alien hand with the right hand to prevent injury. And every story on the alien hand Wikipedia page is worse than the last. Alien hand syndrome is a scary condition because it uses your own body against you, and there's nothing you can.
Okay, so maybe I've seen this, because I feel like I've seen some homeless people just hitting themselves like this and stuff. Or you see like special ed kids hitting themselves. Maybe that's just what it is. But you just see it as like, why are you doing that? Oh, okay, he's special. But maybe they have a case of alien hand. That's interesting.
Do to stop it. The Wikipedia page in this next chapter talked about two men who started one of history's worst disasters on accident. The disaster nobody saw coming. In 1987, two men stole a glowing blue capsule from an abandoned hospital. Soon, they realized that anyone who touched the stolen object got sick. Some even lost their lives. People started to believe the object was cursed, but they were wrong. The real truth is explained on Wikipedia. The abandoned hospital was in a city called Goiânia. By September 1987, it had been abandoned for years. Then two scrap collectors broke in. They were looking for anything worth selling. In one of the rooms, they found an old radiotherapy machine. These machines used radioactive material to treat illnesses. The radioactive material was still inside the machine, but it was sealed behind a protective casing. The men had no idea what the machine was. They just knew it looked valuable, so they carried the machine home and dismantled it. Inside, they found a small metal capsule roughly the size of a can. That capsule held the radioactive material. When removing it from the machine, they punctured the protective barrier. From that moment, they were exposed to dangerous radiation. They didn't
See, some of y'all want this. Y'all think I'm gonna turn into Spider-Man. No, you finna turn up dead. Real shit, you finna turn up dead.
realize it. They also noticed a deep blue light coming from the tiny opening in the capsule. The glow came from the radioactive powder inside. Unaware of the danger, they sold the pieces to a local scrapyard.
The owner of the scrapyard gave Elvis $25 for the shiny assembly and placed the pieces in his garage.
The scrapyard owner was fascinated by the blue glow. He thought the capsule's contents were valuable or supernatural, so he took it home. His wife Maria also loved the glowing blue powder. It looked like glitter, so she used it for decoration.
Maria then went on to decorate her pajamas and bedsheets with glowing dust at night.
In the days that followed, Maria invited friends and family to view the strange glowing.
How much of this powder is it? Come look at my glowing bed.
Powder. People came from all over. They rubbed the glowing powder on their skin, allowed children to play with it, and passed fragments between households. The contamination spread across the city. According to Wikipedia, what happened next was one of the world's worst nuclear disasters. Days passed. Then people started getting sick. The symptoms varied depending on how much powder they came into contact with. Doctors were confused. The symptoms didn't match anything they knew, so they treated patients for food poisoning or skin allergies, but the symptoms kept getting worse. People reported serious health problems, including skin damage and internal complications. Eventually, one doctor recognized the signs of radiation poisoning. He alerted the authorities. The story broke on local, national, and international news immediately. Citizens panicked. 130,000 people rushed to local hospitals to check if they were exposed. After testing, 249 people were found to be contaminated.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't go get tested. I feel like I'm gonna go to get tested, not have it, but leave having it, because I just went to the building where other people are going that have it. You feel me? I'm not going. I'm gonna go. How about y'all come to me? Or I'm gonna go at a later date. I might be too late, I might die. Honestly, I might go in a hazmat suit. That's how I felt with COVID. Why am I gonna go to a hospital to get vaccinated when I go to the hospital, I'm finna get COVID?
Still had radioactive residue on their skin. 4 people lost their lives. Hundreds were left with lifelong health issues. The contamination was so severe that parts of the city became radioactive hazards. Those areas had to be abandoned. The government compensated victims and their families. One of the owners of that abandoned hospital was fined for negligence. The entire chain of events is documented right on Wikipedia. It shows how one glowing capsule poisoned an entire city. This next story is about 2 sisters whose bond became a prison neither of them could escape. The sisters who couldn't separate. There's a Wikipedia page about identical twins who only spoke to each other, nobody else. They created their own private language. It was as if no one else existed, but as they got older, that bond became dangerous, and it directly led to one of them losing their life. Their names were June and Jennifer Gibbons. From childhood, they mirrored each other's movements. Even when they were apart, they could be in separate rooms. If one sat in a certain pose, the other would sit the same way. The strangest part was how they communicated.
Somehow, June and Jennifer ended up creating their own language. They would talk to each other in this language, but no one else could understand it.
Reports say they hadn't spoken to anyone but each other their whole lives. At one point, the girls were sent to separate boarding schools. The separation backfired. When they were apart, the twins became...
Why do parents think boarding school is, you know what, my kid's defiant, you know what, my kid's suicidal, you know what, my kid's playing with guns, he just shot up a school, I'm gonna send him to boarding school. Yep. He tried to kill me. He tried to shoot me. Yeah, boarding school seems like that's... The boarding school has never... Name one scenario where you think boarding school has saved. Maybe we're just not hearing the successful stories. But boarding school, actually, my man DC Heat went to boarding school. It helped him out, I think. But besides that, I've never heard boarding school help anybody. It doesn't do anything.
Became catatonic. Catatonia is a condition where someone can remain motionless for days. The schools had to send them home to be reunited. Several therapists studied them, but no one could explain the connection. The media called them the silent twins. Some people admired their connection. No one knew it would one day destroy their lives. As teenagers, their relationship changed. June and Jennifer started arguing frequently.
And the more time they spent together, the more they began to hate each other.
At 16, they started keeping journals. What they wrote was disturbing.
And often in their journals, they wrote about how much they hate each other and how much they wanted to hurt each other.
Their entries revealed how trapped they felt. They wanted independence, but they could not break away from each other. Soon the tension turned physical. The twins would erupt into intense bursts of physical fighting. They also committed crimes, including vandalism and petty theft. During this time, they set fire to multiple properties. Eventually, they were arrested. A psychiatrist...
I want to hear what these people, these ladies sound like. I want to hear what they... Ooh, they're from the UK. Hold up.
Not then, no. When we were children, maybe, yeah. When we got to the awkward teenage age, we decided that we wanted to be individual. As twins. We'd rather be individual people with our own mind, our own different personalities.
I've got to go and see Mr. Harry about something, and then I'll come and tell you when it's time for dinner, all right?
So why they saying they what's it called? It seemed right here that they just talk like XQC. They talking like XQC. Man, I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty disturbing. Even her voice speaking English, that was pretty disturbing. Can't lie to you.
Psychiatrists diagnosed the twins with psychopathic personality disorder, so they were sent to a high-security psychiatric hospital. Inside that hospital, their bond reached its breaking point. In the hospital, June and Jennifer gave interviews to a journalist. This proved something important. The twins could speak to other people, they just usually chose not to. They told the reporter that they wanted to live separately, but they felt imprisoned by their bond. In their diaries, they described how trapped, possessed, or tortured they felt by each other. Over time, the sisters reached a disturbing conclusion. It was necessary for one of them to lose their life for the other to live.
Who was telling you? I have some, like, what did they ask them? Because people like this, you gotta ask, because there's so many other twins in the world, in life, and they act like this too. You gotta ask them. Twins be on some evil shit, smoke and stack. Come on. Mallory bros, come on. The ones who be like, the Island Boys, but like not the Island Boys, the other one, or even the Island Boys, but the the ones that be like Donkey Valley or whatever. Like twins are on some other mental thing. We gotta look into that. What about triplets? What about quintuplets or quadruplets? These niggas could be evil. They can be like showing us how to telepathically learn how to, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know how they make a language. How'd they make their own language? Like, these are questions I got. Speak your language to me. Say something. That's what I'll be asking her. Not talking about you want to be individual. No. Speak your language. Let me hear it. Now, and then, does anybody in the world know what she's saying? Does anybody know? You know what I'm saying? Like,
freely. They even discussed who was going to make the sacrifice. They agreed it would be Jennifer. On March 9th, 1993, the twins were still under psychiatric care. Jennifer told an officer what was about to happen.
Jennifer told her parole officer that she knew that everything was going to get better because she was going to die soon.
Then it happened.
It turned out the very next day, while they were being transported to their new location, Jennifer put her head on June's shoulder and passed away.
The official cause was sudden inflammation of the heart. Doctors couldn't explain why.
She was super young. There was no evidence of drugs or poison in her system. She just died of natural causes.
To this day, Jennifer's passing still remains a mystery.
But her sister's alive, so like, let's ask her more, especially as we get to this 21st century, right? She's still alive, right? Or she was still alive. As a teenager, as an adult, we seen her. I just Googled her. We listened to her language. Let's ask questions.
I believe that Jennifer willed herself to pass so that her twin could be free, whatever that could mean. What followed was just as strange. After Jennifer passed, June changed. She began speaking to others. She gave interviews to magazines. She became normal. Eventually, she was released from the hospital. To this day, no.
Okay, so when I was searching and I was doing my investigation, sorry guys, I didn't know. That's why I leave it to the people and I just react. I thought that was her when she was weird. They said that she's fine now.
No one has fully explained their bond. That's why this remains one of the creepiest situations on Wikipedia. The Wikipedia page up next talked about a real place in America that people call the gateway to the underworld. The town built over hell. Centralia is one of the creepiest places in America. Some call it the gateway to the underworld. That may sound dramatic, but once you read what happened there, it feels pretty accurate, and the whole story is explained on Wikipedia. Centralia was once an ordinary American town in northeastern Pennsylvania.
In the early years, Centralia flourished. The town boasted multiple hotels, 2 theaters, and 14 different stores.
By the 1960s, about 1,400 people lived there. But there was something unusual about Centralia. The town.
You ever smash an Asian bid yet? Preston. Preston. Why are you asking me this?
The town was built over a network.
I'm live, y'all, by the way, so come tap in.
Network of old coal mines. Once coal catches
Preston, say what's up to YouTube.
fire, it can burn for a very long time. People built roads, schools, and homes above those underground coal mines. At the time, no one saw the danger. Then in 1962, one bad idea changed everything. The town needed a place to dump its garbage, so the town council created a landfill, which is a large site where people throw trash. The plan was simple: fill the pit with trash, burn it, and repeat. The garbage would turn into ash. It was an easy, practical solution. By May 1962, the landfill landfill was full, so the town hired a small crew to burn the garbage.
They set up a controlled burn on the morning of May 27th, and then they extinguished the flames that night.
They put out the flames and went home. Everything seemed fine, but it wasn't. Days later, people noticed fire flickering in the landfill again. Firefighters doused the pit to put it out. Days later, the fire returned. They put it out again. The fire came back again. So they sprayed it again. No matter what they did, the landfill was catching fire on its own. That meant something deep inside was still burning. The town brought in a bulldozer crew to investigate.
So crews were brought in to then churn up the trash so that they could douse the lower levels and get anything that was smoldering below.
The bulldozer dug through the ash. That was when they found the real problem. There was a large opening at the bottom of the landfill. It led to an abandoned coal mine from the 1800s. So when the trash burned, the flames
W Preston in the chat, W Preston in the chat.
slipped into the mine. That was a nightmare scenario.
So now coal under the town and the old
Bro, we recording right now, gang. What are you?
mines dating back to the 1850s
Lock in.
were now on fire.
Coal fires can't be extinguished like normal fires. Once coal ignites, it can burn for a very long time. With enough coal, it can burn for decades. And Centralia was sitting on a network of coal mines. That was an unlimited amount of coal. The fire slipped through the underground mines and spread beneath every street and home. The town was sitting on fire, literally. Authorities scrambled to stop the fire.
They tried underground barriers using sand and fly ash. They tried digging a cutoff trench, but they were too slow getting it done. The fire was already past the trench by the time they dug it.
Nothing worked. The fire was underground, so firefighters couldn't fight it directly. Then the ground began to change. Cracks split open in roads and backyards. Thick smoke rose out of those cracks.
I actually you could see the burning underground. It was just like looking into a furnace. It was wild.
Imagine looking down and seeing fire glowing through a crack in the sidewalk. That was real life in Centralia. By 1981, the danger became impossible.
I'm not gonna lie, that's one of my biggest fears living in LA. That's one of my biggest fears. California is just so damn dry, but like you wouldn't think so. I mean, you would think so. Obviously, it doesn't rain like that, but like you would think when like it rains often. Like it rained 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying? It's what is it? It's about to be June and it rained. So like when people make it seem like, oh, it don't rain out there, it don't rain, y'all don't get rain. No, we get rain all the time. Not regularly like that, but like we get rain all the time. It's not rare. Oh snap, it's raining. Like we get rain, but like the fact that we can have somebody who just throw a burning paper in a bush and now our whole state can catch on fire is insane to me, and that's the scariest thing. Remember the one 2 years ago? I was coming back from Australia and they said our house may catch on fire. I came back and there was a school down from where I live and that college was on fire. People was just starting fires. I'm like, hold on. This might be the end. And then people kept saying, oh, he's returning. I'm like, no, it's just a homeless man starting a fire, bro.
To ignore. It nearly ended someone's life. A boy was walking when the ground opened up beneath him. He grabbed a tree root to stop his fall.
He held onto a tree root to keep from falling deeper into the hole as bursts of up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit went past him.
The sinkhole beneath him was nearly 300 feet deep. That's about the height of a 20-story building. The boy's cousin eventually pulled him out. After that, nobody could pretend Centralia was safe. You couldn't even trust the ground under your feet. The fire also caused an invisible problem. Burning coal releases toxic gases that have no color or smell. Those gases seep through the ground and into people's homes. One man was found unconscious in his own house.
They had to take him to the hospital. Could have died if nobody had happened to find him in time.
The town was declared too dangerous for humans. Families packed up and left. Some buildings collapsed into the burning ground.
In other areas, you can see where sinkholes have opened up and in some cases swallowed entire homes.
Today, Centralia is a ghost town. The fire still burns underground. Scientists estimate it will continue to burn for over 250 years. And this Wikipedia page documents its horrors. This next chapter is about a flight that ended
250 years? Are you dead ass? That is insane. Why don't we like explore that area more and go down that area? Why can't we look like we over here trying to go to the damn Mars and live? Like, come on, let's go down let's go to Centralia and see what's going on. Let's put it to rest. We need to figure out everything on Earth first, especially if when certain things happened, atrocities happened way back when we didn't have technology. Now we could just scan the bitch and really, really like bring it to life.
In one of the strangest disappearances in history, the pilot who never landed. There's a Wikipedia page titled Disappearance of Frederick Valentich. But the disturbing part is not just that he vanished. It's what Frederick said and saw moments before he disappeared. Frederick was an amateur pilot from Australia. In 1978,
oh, so he said he saw a big bright thing and it was like an alien or something, right? It was moving side to side by him. Yeah, I remember this
he was
story.
preparing for his biggest challenge yet. He was going to fly solo across the open ocean, and he would do it at night. Frederick rented a single-engine plane for the trip, and on the evening of October 21st, he took off. The first part of the flight went smoothly. Frederick stayed in contact with the ground staff, but 40 minutes into the flight, his tone changed.
But we do have the transcriptions, which tell us exactly what was said whilst Frederick was up there.
Frederick radioed that a large aircraft was following him. Ground staff checked their systems. They found no known traffic at that level. In other words, no other aircraft was supposed to be there. But Frederick insisted he could see it. He said the aircraft was flying at least 1,000 feet above him. It was making strange maneuvers. He believed it was playing some sort of game with him. He sounded scared. Minutes later, Frederick said this unidentified flying object was hovering right above him. He could see it better now. He described a shiny metal surface and a green light on it. Ground staff asked if he could identify the make and model of the plane. Frederick looked again. Then he uttered his final words. "It's not an aircraft." After that, his transmission was interrupted by unidentified noises. Wikipedia describes them as strange metallic scraping sounds. The noise lasted only a few seconds. Then there was silence. Frederick had disappeared into thin air. The first assumption was that Frederick crashed into the ocean. Authorities launched a search. They found nothing. No wreckage, no body, no trace of the plane. The search team also questioned people in the area. Many reported seeing strange lights in the sky the night Frederick vanished. Conspiracy theories spread quickly. Most people believed
Do y'all believe in aliens? Let's just bring it out right now. Do y'all believe in aliens? I do, especially after seeing Nope. I do, and it shifted the way I see. I don't think aliens are like in this tin thing, because we don't know what they look like this UFO. I don't think aliens are in that bitch sitting like this. I think the alien is the UFO. Go watch Nope. That Nope is everybody hated the movie Nope. I loved the movie Nope. I loved it. It was like a good take, a realistic take. Like, oh, y'all thought this was what it was? No, it's actually this. Where that bitch opened up. Woo. Go watch Nope. I might rewatch that. It's just long as shit.
Frederick was abducted by aliens. Frederick's own father supported that theory, but scientists offered a different explanation. They said there was a meteor shower that night. The green lights people saw were probably falling meteors. There was also a theory that Frederick lost control of his plane.
Some experts believe that he was so disoriented that he was flying upside down unknowingly.
That could explain what he saw.
What he thought he saw above him, another craft, was actually the reflection of his own plane in the water.
Okay, well, the only way we can debunk this is by searching his plane model and seeing if he had a green light on top of his thing. If he had a green light on top of his plane, that means he was upside down, right? Because he said he saw a green light. So that means he would, like, what's his make and model of his plane?
The final theory was that Frederick staged his own disappearance. He deliberately flew somewhere to start a new life. No one knows the truth. Frederick Valentich has never been found. That's why his story is one of the strangest on Wikipedia. The Wikipedia page in our next chapter talked about a man who went into a cave and never came back out. The cave that became a grave. There are dangerous caves all over the world.
I mean, don't go cave diving. Like, what are we talking about? Y'all going cave diving? In 2026 still? If you don't get your ass and grow up, like, what are you getting from that?
But one cave was...
Holy shit, dude. I just got fucking claustrophobic and I almost fucking died. I went face first and my neck twisted and I thought I was done for. But then really, I got pulled back out by I shimmied out back ways like this, pushed myself out, and I actually wasn't stuck. You want to give it a go? Well, fuck.
So dangerous that its entrance was sealed with concrete. People wanted to make sure that no one would ever enter again. This is a story of Nutty Putty Cave, one of the darkest stories on Wikipedia. The cave is located in Utah. Its walls are lined with soft brown clay that feels like putty. That's how it got the name Nutty Putty Cave. For years, people wriggled through the cave for fun. It became a tourist attraction. From the outside, it looked like a simple hole in the ground, but inside it was a completely different world. The cave had tight twists, turns, and crawls that went deep underground. Many of the passages were deceptive. A tunnel would look wide enough to enter, but once someone squeezed inside, they often couldn't turn around. Between 1999 and 2004, several people got stuck.
A number of people, including 2 Boy Scouts, became stuck in tight.
Why don't we just fill the whole bitch with concrete? Because why are we doing this? If you jumping down there, respectfully, you didn't value your life to begin with. We gotta let you, or we just leave it. You down there, you help. Look around. You in this cave. Look around. You're done. We're not coming for you. No one's hearing you. This is the field that was at in Breaking Bad. Junior, my big man. You know what I'm saying? I live at an 80 Negro Royal Lane. Like, this is some Breaking Bad shit. No one's hearing you out here.
Narrow parts of the caves and had to be rescued by professionals.
One rescue involved a 16-year-old boy. He was wedged upside down inside the cave. It took 10 hours and 20 rescuers to pull him out. Rescue teams in Utah were concerned. They were repeatedly called to pull visitors out. The cave was becoming too risky. Then their worst fears came true. In November 2009, John Edward Jones entered Nutty Putty Cave with friends. He was a 26-year-old medical student. John wasn't that reckless. He explored caves before, so he believed he knew what he was doing, or at least he thought he did. While crawling through the cave, John wanted to find a section called the birth canal. It was supposed to be a tight but navigable passageway that eventually opened to a larger area. In other words, it was supposed to be narrow at first and then open up. That detail is important. John crawled forward with his brother close behind. They reached a narrow passage. John believed it was the birth canal. He was wrong.
But John, unknowingly, had taken a wrong turn down an unmapped passageway via a route.
That's another thing you gotta worry about. I think this is the birth canal. No, nigga, you're in a whole different location. There's no signs. Yo, bathrooms this way. No, there's no signs. Exit, entrance, back door, front door. 405 freeway. This is the I-97. You know what I'm saying? There's none of that. You just guessing. Looks about right, and no one took pictures of any. Every rocks look the same.
Known as the corkscrew.
The tunnel was extremely narrow. John had to move slowly, inch by inch. His brother was close behind.
John kept his cool. He was certain that there would be an opening ahead.
After a short distance, the passage sloped downward. John went in head first. He still didn't realize he was in the wrong part of the cave.
The narrow space looked as though it might open out a little bit further down, and besides, he was sure that he was in birth canal.
It did not open up. John became stuck upside down. Only his feet were visible to his brother Josh. John asked for help.
Josh made several desperate attempts to free his brother, but none of them worked.
Eventually, Josh crawled out to get help. Rescue teams were called in, but when help arrived, the reality of the situation
they couldn't get down there. They didn't know how to find him and get right back where he was.
Became clear. There was almost no room to work. The passage was
they found him.
So narrow that only one rescuer could enter at a time. The rescuers tried everything to free John. First, they tied a rope to his feet and tried to pull him out. He couldn't move. Next, they tried to drill through the rock to widen the tunnel. The stone was extremely thick. It took over an hour to drill just 6 inches of rock. Over the next 27 hours, 137 volunteers rotated in and out of the cave. They worked non-stop. John remained upside down the entire time. That position alone was dangerous.
For some people, being suspended upside down for as little as 10 minutes can be fatal.
Bro, I use one of them old school, you know what the old man be using? The old man, they go upside down, the inverted, and let the blood run. I did that for 4 seconds and started panicking. My uncle had one of them. I used it for 4 seconds. He lives in Lawndale, so y'all know I'm not lying. He lives in Lawndale. I use it in the garage. I was terrified. I felt like I was dying in 6 seconds. And you know, it tapes your feet. It's like I don't know how it goes. I think it just straps on your feet and flips you upside down. And then now you're upside down. The poles are right here, and the flip back, you gotta like use your arms and use the pole and swing back. Yeah, that shit is terrifying. So I can only imagine being upside down like this and watching my brother panic trying to get me out. Oh yeah. But here's my solution. Here's what I would do. I would throw in the rope right here and say grab it with this. That way you can use this leverage and straighten your body out while they pull you out. Because by pulling this, you just gonna hit this rock. But by giving you the rope right here and having it like go this way, you can like, you know what I'm saying? Like this. It goes through the feet and through the hands. And then you can wiggle your body and they can lift your full body. But you know, niggas not thinking like me.
John had been stuck that way for almost an entire day.
His health deteriorated. After around 27 hours of being stuck, John passed away. The cause was cardiac arrest. Even then, the ordeal was not over. Rescuers needed to recover his body for a proper burial. They tried for a while. Then they realized the truth. It was too dangerous to attempt to retrieve his body, so they left him inside. Then they made sure no one would ever get trapped again. All entrances to the cave were filled with concrete. Nutty Putty Cave was permanently closed. Today, people still visit the site. They cannot enter, but they know John is still inside, trapped underground forever. That's what makes this Wikipedia page one of the creepiest on the internet. This next case has been investigated by the government, scientists, and police, and still no one has figured it out. The night everything went wrong. Thousands of people go hiking every year. Most of them return home safely, but 9 hikers in Russia did not. And it has its own Wikipedia page that's quite shocking. It's titled The Dyatlov Pass Incident, and some say it's a story about monsters and aliens. It happened in January 1959.
The group consisted of 9 experienced men and women, greatly familiar.
Sometimes we quick to say these people back in the day were just trash and just stupid, but it's back in the day. A lot of things will take you on. Their train of thought was like they never had really free thinking. You know, you were different if you had free will and free thinking. Now it's a little bit different. So like if you still trying to jump in nutty putty ass and you getting stuck, like come on bro, what are you doing? But then it's kind of like, okay, I kind of see why this is, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just more lenient than what it would be today.
With the Siberian wilderness.
They were supposed to return in 3 weeks, but almost a month passed and no one heard from them. A rescue team was sent into the mountains. After days of searching, they found the hikers' tent. It was buried in the snow. All the hikers' belongings and shoes had been left behind. That included most of their warm clothing. No hiker would willingly walk into freezing weather without boots or coats. Yet that's what seemed to have happened. Inside the tent, rescuers found sliced food. It looked like the hikers were getting ready to have supper. Then something interrupted them. The tent was also cut open from the inside. All the facts pointed to one conclusion:
that the group had cut their way out and fled their shelter in a panicked rush. Footprints were found leading down the side of the mountain.
What could scare 9 hikers so badly that they ran into the snow half dressed?
A polar bear? That's my question. It could have been a polar bear.
Search teams later found the remains of the 9 missing hikers. 2 were dressed only in underwear. Doctors concluded that 6 passed away from hypothermia, but the other 3 had serious injuries.
Medical experts concluded that their injuries were caused by a large force and could not have been caused by another human.
There was another strange detail. Some levels of radiation were found on one victim's clothing. News of the incident spread across the country.
Oh shit, the abominable snowman. Oh shit. Bigfoot's brother. Bigfoot's cousin. Crazy.
People wanted answers. There were many theories. The Russian government blamed an avalanche for the tragedy, but according to Wikipedia and other sources, no one has ever reported an avalanche in that area. Others believed secret military weapons were being tested in that area. That could explain the injuries.
Maybe these weapons had actually struck some of the hikers, causing their strange and terrifying injuries.
Some even suggested the hikers fought and ended one another. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened. That area was later named Dyatlov Pass in memory of the group. Wikipedia was built to inform, but somewhere along the way, it became an archive of the worst things that happened to real people. And none of these people saw anything coming. So my friends, treat your life like tomorrow isn't guaranteed.
That's how I treat my life. What are you talking about? I wonder why they wouldn't just ask the people that were severely injured, like what happened. But hey man, treat your life like it's not promised. That's what you gotta do. That's how I move. You treat it like it's not promised. You take advantage of every opportunity and you enjoy every situation that comes along, good or bad. Try and see the good in it because you don't know when it will become bad or when it will end. Without further ado, I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one. I'm gone.